We often dream of the glamour that comes with a multi-billion-dollar dynasty, but for the family behind Hyundai, their $40 billion fortune casts a dark shadow. Their story isn't just one of success, it's a modern Shakespearean tragedy, filled with calamities almost mythic in their cruelty. These are the hidden histories I'm fascinated by, the ones that reveal the true human cost of building an empire. I'm Beatrice, and if you're like me, you won't be able to look away. So where does a story of such mythic proportions even begin? Not in a gleaming boardroom, but with a boy, a poor farmer's son, born into poverty in what is now North Korea. His name was Chung Ju-yung. His defining feature wasn't genius or luck, but a relentless refusal to accept his fate. He ran away from home not once, not twice, but 3 times, desperate to escape.
This is where the legend of Hyundai truly begins. His first attempt was the flight of a desperate boy, barely 16, a perilous 15-mile trek through the mountains, fueled by a simple, aching desire for something more than a life tied to the soil. But his father, a man forged from that same soil, found him and brought him back. The legend could have ended there. His second escape was smarter, more calculated. He reached Seoul, the city of his dreams, only to be tricked and brought home once again by his older brother. You can almost feel the burning frustration, the sense that the world was conspiring to keep him in his place. Most people would have surrendered. They would have accepted the boundaries of their birth.
But for Chung Ju-yung, these failures weren't endings. They were lessons in the art of escape. The third time, he knew there could be no going back. He made a decision that, for a farmer's son, was a profound act of betrayal and a singular act of faith. He secretly sold one of his father's cows for 71. This wasn't just money for a train ticket, it was the price of his past. With that cash in his pocket, he wasn't just running away from home, he was burning the bridge back to everything he had ever known. He was all in. In Seoul, this raw determination was his only currency. He worked grueling days as a construction laborer, hauling stones on his back, sleeping in sheds. He delivered newspapers, sold firewood, anything to survive.
His big break, as it often happens in these stories, came from a place of trust. He got a job as a delivery man at the Bokong rice store. He didn't just deliver rice, he learned the business from the ground up, with an obsessive focus that impressed the store's owner. When the owner's health failed, he didn't sell the store to a competitor, he entrusted it to the young man who worked as if it were already his own. At just 22, Chung Ju-yung became a business owner, but history had other plans. After World War II, with rice rationing imposed, he had to close the store. It was another moment that could have been the end. Instead, he saw a new opportunity in the ruins of the old world, the US. Armed forces were in Korea, and they had a massive fleet of vehicles in constant need of repair. Chung started a small auto service shop. He had no experience, but he had a relentless drive to figure things out. That tiny garage servicing American military trucks was the true seed. In 1947, he officially founded the Hyundai Civil Works Company, Hyundai meaning modernity. His mission was no longer just to escape his own poverty, but to help rebuild an entire nation from the ashes of war. And for Chung Ju-yung, rebuilding a nation wasn't just about roads and bridges, it was about conquering the seas. In the early 1970s, he made a decision that baffled the world. Hyundai would become a shipbuilder. He had never built a ship. He had no shipyard, no expert engineers. When seeking a loan, he famously showed skeptical British bankers a 50,000 won banknote, using the image of a 16th century armoured turtle ship as his only proof of Korea's shipbuilding legacy. It was audacious, it was poetic, and it worked.
Within a decade, Hyundai Heavy Industries became the largest shipbuilder on the entire planet. But conquering the seas wasn't enough. He wanted to put his nation on wheels. As the South Korean government pushed for industrialization, Chung seized the moment. In 1976, the Hyundai Pony rolled off the assembly line. It wasn't just a car, it was a declaration. South Korea's very first mass-produced automobile, a symbol of national pride on four wheels. Then he set his sights on the ultimate prize, America. In 1985, they unleashed the Hyundai Excel, a simple, affordable car that became an overnight sensation. In its very first year, it sold over 168,000 units, smashing records and becoming the best-selling import car in US history. The world was forced to take notice. Yet, the final piece of the puzzle was independence. Chung was tired of relying on foreign partners like Mitsubishi for their technology. He poured resources into research and development, culminating in the creation of Hyundai's very own proprietary Alpha engine. This wasn't just a piece of machinery, it was their technological declaration of independence. By the end of the 1980s, the transformation was absolute.
The poor farmer's son now presided over a global titan that built the very tools of modern commerce, from the ships that carry goods to the cars that carry people. They had achieved the impossible, but the gods of fortune are notoriously fickle, and for the Chung family, the price of achieving the impossible would be impossibly high. As the Hyundai empire swelled in the 1980s, the Shakespearean tragedy promised at the start of our story began to unfold, with the family paying its dues in blood and tears. The first blow struck in 1982, and it struck at the very heart of the future. Chung Ju-young's eldest son and chosen heir, Chung Mong-pil, was the living embodiment of the dynasty's next chapter.
He was being meticulously groomed to take the reins, to carry the founder's legacy forward. Then, in an instant, that future was erased. A car accident, a violent collision in his Ford Granada, and the designated king was dead. It was a brutal, senseless tragedy, the first terrifying crack in the family's gilded armor. If Mong-pil's death was a crack, what followed was a fissure spreading deep into the dynasty's foundations. As the 80s bled into the 90s, the immense unspoken pressure of being a Chung heir began to claim its victims. In 1990, another son, Chung Mong-woo, took his own life. The family's relentless drive, the very engine that built their fortune, was now revealing a devastating internal cost.
Another potential leader was lost, and the whispers of a curse tied to their immense wealth began to feel chillingly real. But the family's most public and devastating act played out in 2003. By then, another son, Chung Mong-hun, was chairman of a key Hyundai division, spearheading his father's dream of reconciliation with North Korea. He became the central figure in a massive political scandal, accused of illegally funneling hundreds of millions of dollars to Pyongyang to secure a historic summit. The public pressure was crushing. The family's name, once a symbol of national pride, was now tied to whispers of corruption and conspiracy. On a dark August morning, Chung Mong-hun leaped from his 12th floor office at the Hyundai headquarters.
The weight of his father's empire and its secrets had become too much for one man to bear. His death left a gaping hole in the dynasty. The founder's dream of a smooth succession lay in ruins. His fifth son, Chung Mong-koo, was reluctantly thrust into the role of patriarch, but the shadow followed him. Just a few years later, in 2007, he too stood in court, convicted for embezzling merely $100 million from the company he now led. The conviction of the new chairman was the final humiliating blow in a 2-decade-long cascade of tragedy. The empire stood, richer than ever, but its line of succession was broken, its name was stained, and its soul was deeply, permanently scarred.
A scarred soul, a broken line of succession, and yet, on the surface, the gleam of the dynasty only grew brighter. The empire, after all, had to run. Today, the family name is synonymous with a certain quiet luxury. Picture the Hyundai Yachts Club, gleaming white hulls rocking gently in the Wangsan Marina. A world of serene cruises on the River Han, of bespoke events whispered about in elite circles. This was the new face of the empire, polished, sophisticated, and impossibly distant from its rugged origins. But you have to wonder, would the boy who once sold firewood to survive, the one who sold his father's cow for a single shot at a different life, would he look at this world of curated perfection and believe it was worth the unimaginable price his family paid? Because for the patriarch Chung Ju-yung, the ultimate prize was never about yachts or lounges. His final great ambition was far grander and far more personal. It was the dream of a unified Korea. In 1998, in an act that stunned the world, the aging tycoon did something extraordinary. He gathered 1,001 cattle, a symbolic repayment for the one he had stolen as a boy, and personally led them across the heavily armed border, back to his childhood village in North Korea. The king of industry, returning home as the farmer's son he always was. It was a gesture that said more than any financial report ever could. In the end, what is the true legacy of a dynasty? Is it the billions in the bank, or is it the dream of a simple man finally making his way home?
Today, the answer seems to be both. The dream of that simple man has solidified into an undeniable global force. In 2024, Hyundai is the world's third largest automaker. It's a titan looking firmly toward tomorrow, forging ambitious partnerships with giants like Amazon and AWS, while pioneering the electric vehicle revolution. The saga of the Chung family remains a modern epic, a dynasty forged in relentless grit, crowned with astonishing success, and forever shadowed by profound tragedy. As the third generation now guides this $40 billion empire, one thing feels certain: their future will be as ambitious and likely as dramatic as their past. This story is just one of many. Which powerful family would you like me to explore next? Please let me know your suggestions in the comments below. And if you, like me, are fascinated by these hidden stories of wealth, power, and the human heart,
Please subscribe and join our corner of the internet. It truly helps, and I have so many more tales to share with you.